3 days passed before Admiral Tay arrived with the rest of the fleet. He was a decorated war hero, famous throughout the Council for crushing rebellions and conquering new worlds. His flagship, the Eternal Victory, was the most powerful warship in this sector. When Tay heard about the Keeper's warning, he laughed for a full minute. Captain Hyun stood in the Admiral's command center feeling small. The room was huge and filled with officers and strategists. Holographic displays showed Earth from every angle. Tay walked around the main display, studying the blue planet with hungry eyes. "So this is Earth," Tay said. "The planet that supposedly destroys entire fleets. It looks harmless to me. Our scans show primitive technology. Radio waves, simple satellites, nuclear weapons that would barely scratch our shields. Where is this great danger the Keeper warned us about?" Hyun cleared his throat. "Admiral, the Keeper left coordinates. A location where we might find evidence of previous invasions. Perhaps we should investigate before we proceed." Tay nodded. "Fine. Send Commander Yuna with a small reconnaissance group. Let her waste time chasing ghosts. Meanwhile, I want probe ships sent to Earth immediately. I want detailed scans of their cities, their military bases, their technology. We need to know what we are dealing with." Commander Yuna was young for her rank, but she had earned her position through brilliant tactical thinking. She did not like mysteries, and the Keeper's warning bothered her. When she received her orders, she chose her best science team and set out for the coordinates with 2 fast scout ships. The journey took 12 hours. The coordinates led to an empty region of space far from any star. At first, Yuna's sensors detected nothing. Then her science officer noticed something strange. Energy signatures. Very faint but spread across a huge area. "Commander," the science officer said, his voice shaking slightly, "you need to see this." Yuna activated the main viewer. What she saw made her blood run cold. Debris. Millions of pieces of debris floating in the darkness. Ships, weapons, armor plating, everything torn to pieces. The debris field stretched for thousands of kilometers in every direction. "How many ships?" Yuna asked quietly. The science officer worked his console rapidly. "Analyzing the debris patterns now. Computer estimates at least 300 capital ships, plus support vessels, fighters, supply ships. This was not one fleet, Commander. This was 3 separate fleets. 3 different invasions." Yuna moved closer to the screen. "Can you identify the species? Who built these ships?" The science officer pulled up data files. His face went pale. "Commander, the first fleet belonged to the Vor Empire. They disappeared 600 years ago. The Council always assumed they were destroyed in a civil war. The second fleet is from the Kreth Dominion. They vanished 400 years ago. The third fleet is from the Zeph Collective. They disappeared 200 years ago." Yuna felt dizzy. Those were not small powers. The Vor Empire had conquered half the galaxy before they mysteriously disappeared. The Kreth Dominion had technology far superior to anything the current Council possessed. The Zeph Collective had been legendary warriors nearly unstoppable in battle. "What destroyed them?" Yuna asked. The science officer worked frantically. "Analyzing weapon signatures in the debris. This is incredible. The destruction was surgical, precise. These were not random attacks. Someone or something picked these fleets apart piece by piece. And Commander, the energy signatures match traces we detected near Earth's solar system." Yuna grabbed a sample of debris with her ship's retrieval arm. She needed proof. Admiral Tay would never believe this without seeing it himself. She collected fragments from all 3 fleets and began the journey back. When she arrived at the fleet's position near Earth, Yuna immediately requested an emergency meeting with Admiral Tay. She brought the debris samples and all her sensor data. The Admiral was not happy about being interrupted. "This better be important, Commander," Tay said. "My probe ships are almost ready to enter Earth's atmosphere." Yuna spread the evidence before him. She showed him the debris fields, the analysis, the weapon signatures. She explained about the 3 lost empires. She pointed out that each fleet was more advanced than the Council's current technology. She begged him to reconsider the invasion. Tay listened quietly. Then he picked up a piece of debris and examined it. The metal was scorched and twisted. Whatever weapon had done this was incredibly powerful. "Impressive," Tay finally said. "The humans clearly have some hidden weapons. This makes them more interesting, not less. If they have technology powerful enough to destroy these ancient fleets, then we need to take it from them." Imagine what the Council could do with such weapons. Yuna could not believe what she was hearing. "Admiral, you cannot be serious. Those 3 empires were far stronger than us. If the humans destroyed them, what chance do we have?" Tay smiled coldly. Those empires failed because they were arrogant. They probably attacked without proper reconnaissance. We will be smarter. My probe ships have already gathered extensive data on Earth's defenses. We know where their military bases are located. We know where their leaders live. We will strike fast and hard before they can respond. But Admiral, Una protested, we do not even know where these weapons are hidden. Our scans detected nothing unusual around Earth. The humans might have defenses we cannot see. Then we force them to reveal those defenses, Tay replied. I am sending a message to Earth right now. A simple demand. Surrender or face destruction. If they have secret weapons, they will have to show them to defend themselves. Once we see what they have, we can plan accordingly. Captain Hyun, who had been silent during the meeting, finally spoke. This is madness. The Keeper warned us. The evidence is right here. We should retreat and report to the High Council. Let them decide how to proceed. Tay turned to face Hyun with anger in his eyes. Captain, I am in command of this fleet. I do not need permission from the High Council to deal with a primitive world. This is a military matter, and I will handle it as I see fit. Prepare your ship for combat. That is an order. Hyun saluted stiffly and left. Una followed him out. In the corridor, they exchanged worried looks. He is going to get us all killed, Una whispered. Hyun nodded grimly. I know, but we are soldiers. We follow orders. Even orders we know are wrong. They walked back to their ships in silence. Behind them, Admiral Tay was already composing his message to Earth. A message that would change everything. A message that would wake something that had been sleeping for a very long time. The message from Admiral Tay was broadcast on every frequency Earth could possibly receive. It was translated into all known human languages. The words were clear and threatening. People of Earth, this is Admiral Tay of the Galactic Council. Your planet has been selected for integration into our organization. You have 24 hours to surrender unconditionally. Failure to comply will result in military action. We have 50 warships in orbit. Resistance is futile. Make the wise choice. Captain Hyun watched the transmission being sent and felt sick. Around Earth, the Council fleet formed into attack formations. Weapons were charged. Shields were raised. Every ship was ready for battle. The crews were excited. They had heard stories about the mysterious debris field, but most did not believe it. They thought the humans would surrender quickly. The 24 hours crawled by slowly. Hyun barely slept. He kept checking his sensors, looking for any sign of human activity. But Earth seemed quiet. Too quiet. A few satellites changed position slightly. Some radio traffic increased. But no panic, no desperate military mobilization. It was as if the humans were not even worried. When the deadline passed, Admiral Tay opened a channel to all ships. His voice was confident and commanding. The humans have chosen to ignore our generous offer. Very well. All ships prepare to demonstrate our power. Target their largest city. We will destroy one city as a warning. After they see our strength, they will beg to surrender. Hyun wanted to protest, but what could he say? He had already voiced his concerns. He had been ignored. Now all he could do was watch. The weapons on the Eternal Victory began charging. Energy levels climbed higher and higher. The main cannon could destroy an entire city in a single shot. It was designed to crack planetary shields and shatter fortresses. Against an undefended city, it would be devastating. Then something impossible happened. Every communication system in the fleet activated simultaneously. The voice that came through was calm, professional, and spoke perfect Council standard language. It was a woman's voice. Admiral Tay, this is Ambassador Mina representing the United Earth Defense Command. We received your message. We appreciate the 24-hour notice, though it was unnecessary. We have been tracking your fleet since you entered our solar system 3 days ago. Tay looked confused. Impossible. Our stealth technology is undetectable. You are bluffing. Your flagship, the Eternal Victory, has a small crack in the port hull, Section 37, Mina replied. Your third escort ship has a faulty power regulator. Your lead scout vessel needs shield maintenance. Should I continue? The bridge of the Eternal Victory fell silent. Hyun quickly checked his own ship's status. Everything Mina said was accurate. His engineer had mentioned a small hull crack just yesterday. They had planned to fix it next week. Tay recovered quickly. Very impressive. You have good sensors. But sensors alone will not save you. We have 50 warships. You have nothing. Surrender now or we will open fire. Actually, Admiral, we have quite a lot, Mina said, and we would prefer not to use it. Allow me to demonstrate. Throughout the solar system, things began to appear. Not suddenly, not dramatically. They simply became visible. Hyun's sensors started screaming as thousands of contacts filled his screen. Defense platforms hidden in the asteroid belt. Weapon arrays buried on Mars. Massive cannons disguised as moon craters. And ships. Hundreds of ships, all larger than anything in the Council fleet. How? Tay whispered. Our scans showed nothing. Your scans showed what we wanted you to see, Mina explained. We have had stealth technology for over a century. We simply let you believe we were primitive. It made life easier, fewer complications. But since you insist on threatening us, we cannot maintain the illusion any longer. Commander Yuna was monitoring everything from her ship. She pulled up tactical data on the human vessels. What she saw terrified her. The human ships had no energy signatures, no heat, no emissions. They were using power sources completely unknown to Council science, and their weapons were enormous. Admiral, Yuna transmitted urgently, we need to withdraw. Now. Those ships are far beyond our capabilities. Tay ignored her. His pride was wounded. Ambassador Mina, you are making a serious mistake. The Galactic Council does not tolerate defiance. If you do not surrender immediately, we will destroy your planet. There was a long pause. When Mina spoke again, her voice was colder. Admiral, we gave you a chance to leave peacefully. You refused. Very well, observe. A man's voice joined the communication. He sounded older, tired, like a teacher explaining something to a slow student. This is Dr. Dong from the Earth Science Division. What you are about to see is a demonstration of basic defensive technology. Please do not be alarmed. On every ship's view screen, a small moon appeared. It was one of Jupiter's outer satellites, uninhabited and useless. Dr. Dong continued speaking in his calm, tired voice. We will now demonstrate a Class 3 planetary defense beam. This is considered an outdated weapon in our arsenal. We only use it for asteroid deflection these days. Please observe the target moon. There was no flash, no dramatic buildup, no warning. One moment the moon was there. The next moment it was not. Not destroyed, not shattered. Simply gone, completely erased from existence. Not even dust remained. Hyun's science officer was shaking. Captain, I am reading the energy output from that weapon. It is impossible. It is 1,000 times more powerful than our strongest cannon, and they called it outdated. Dr. Dong spoke again. That was a demonstration. We have 17,000 similar platforms throughout the solar system. We also have more advanced weapons, but we see no need to show them to you. The point has been made, I believe. Ambassador Mina's voice returned. Admiral Tay, you have two choices. First choice, you leave immediately and report back to your High Council that Earth is not interested in joining your organization. Tell them we wish to be left alone. We have no desire for conflict. And the second choice? Tay asked weakly. You attack us, Mina said simply, and we will defend ourselves. I should mention that 3 other civilizations made that choice in the past. Would you like to know what happened to them? Tay did not answer. He could not answer. His entire worldview had just shattered. The primitive humans were not primitive at all. They were incredibly advanced, more advanced than anyone in the galaxy, and they had been hiding that fact for centuries. Captain Hyun finally understood. The Keeper had not been warning them about a threat. The Keeper had been trying to protect them, trying to save their lives. The humans did not want to fight. They wanted peace, but they were more than capable of war, and now Admiral Tay had to decide. Retreat in shame or attack and face the same fate as 3 lost empires. The fleet waited in tense silence. Earth waited patiently, and somewhere in the darkness the Keeper watched, hoping the Council would finally listen. The stars looked different from the bridge of the Galactic Council warship. Captain Hyun stood with his hands behind his back, watching the endless darkness outside. His ship, the Radiant Dawn, moved slowly through space near a small yellow star. The humans called it the Sun. Hyun had never met a human before. Nobody in the Council had. The planet Earth was far from the major trade routes, and the Council had bigger problems to worry about. Hyun checked the patrol schedule on his data screen. Another boring day, another empty sector. He wondered why the Council sent 5 warships to patrol this quiet corner of space. There were no pirates here, no rebels. Just empty space and a few primitive worlds that had not discovered faster-than-light travel yet. The alert system suddenly screamed. Red lights filled the bridge. Hyun's crew jumped to their stations. The weapons officer shouted something about an unknown contact. The navigation officer tried to scan the area. Everyone looked confused and scared. Then Hyun saw it. Something appeared right in front of his ship. It was not a ship. It was not a station. It was something else entirely. The thing looked like it was made of crystal and light. It was huge, bigger than 3 council warships put together. The crystals moved and shifted, forming patterns that hurt to look at. Hyun felt his head start to ache. The communication system activated by itself. A voice filled the bridge. It did not sound like any language Hyun knew, but somehow he understood every word. The voice was old, very old. It sounded tired and sad. "Travelers from the council," the voice said. "I am called the Keeper. I have watched this galaxy for longer than your species has existed. I have seen empires rise and fall. I have seen wars that destroyed entire star systems. I appear before you now with a warning." Hyun tried to speak, but his voice would not work. He could only listen. "You are approaching the homeworld of the humans," the Keeper continued. "Do not provoke them. Do not threaten them. Do not attempt to conquer them. Leave this system and do not return." Behind Hyun, Council Member Sora laughed. She was a politician, not a soldier. She had come on this patrol to inspect the fleet. Sora was ambitious and had no patience for mysteries. She stepped forward and spoke loudly. "This is ridiculous," Sora said. "We have scanned the Earth. They barely have any technology. They fight wars with chemical explosives. They cannot even leave their own star system. Why should the mighty Galactic Council fear such primitive creatures?" The crystal entity seemed to pulse with light. The voice became stronger, more urgent. "You understand nothing," the Keeper said. "The humans are not what they appear. 3 times before, great powers have come to this system. 3 times they sought to invade Earth. 3 times those fleets vanished completely. I warned them as I warn you now. They did not listen. They believed themselves superior. They are gone now. Only dust and debris remain." Sora crossed her arms. "Old stories. Ghost tales. The Council does not fear myths and legends." Hyun finally found his voice. "Keeper, we mean no harm to anyone. We are on a routine patrol. We have no orders to engage the humans." The Keeper's light dimmed slightly. "Good. Remember my words, Captain. The humans have slept for a long time. They have hidden themselves well. But if you wake them, if you threaten them, you will discover the truth. And by then it will be too late." "Wait," Hyun said. "What truth?" "What are the humans hiding?" The crystal entity began to fade. Before it disappeared completely, it transmitted something to the ship's computer. Coordinates. A location deep in space, far from any known system. The voice spoke one last time. "If you must know, go to these coordinates. See what remains of those who did not heed my warning. But do not say you were not told. The humans are dangerous. More dangerous than anything you have encountered. This is my final warning." The Keeper vanished. The red alert stopped. The bridge fell silent. Hyun looked at his crew. Everyone seemed shaken. Even the veteran officers looked pale and worried. Sora broke the silence with a snort. "Dramatic performance. Clearly some kind of trick. Maybe the humans have a few toys they have been hiding. So what? The Council has conquered hundreds of worlds. One more primitive planet will not be a problem." "With respect, Council Member," Hyun said carefully. "Perhaps we should investigate those coordinates first. If there really are wrecked fleets out there, we should know about it before we make any decisions about Earth." Sora turned to face him. Her eyes were cold. "Captain Hyun, I will be reporting this encounter to the High Council. They will want to know everything about this mysterious Keeper, and they will certainly want to investigate Earth more closely. A planet that inspires such dramatic warnings must have something worth taking." Hyun felt his stomach drop. He knew that tone. Sora was not interested in caution. She saw opportunity. A chance to make a name for herself by discovering something valuable. The Council was always hungry for new resources, new technology, new worlds to control. "I must insist we proceed carefully," Hyun said. That entity seemed genuine. "If there is even a small chance the humans are dangerous, we should not provoke them without more information." "Your caution is noted, Captain," Sora replied. "But the Council does not make decisions based on fear. We will send reconnaissance ships to Earth. We will scan their defenses. We will learn the truth about these mysterious humans. And if they do have advanced technology, we will take it. That is how the Council works." She walked toward the exit, then stopped and looked back. "Oh, and Captain, Make sure your ship is ready for combat. I have a feeling we will need every warship we can get. If the humans want to play games, the Council will show them what real power looks like. After Sora left, Hyun sat down in his command chair. He stared at the coordinates the Keeper had left behind. Something deep in his gut told him this was wrong. The Council was making a terrible mistake. But he was just a captain. He followed orders. That was his job. Outside the window, Earth hung in space like a blue marble. It looked so peaceful, so quiet. Hyun wondered what secrets that little planet was hiding. He wondered if he would live long enough to find out. Captain Hyun was alone in his quarters when Ambassador Mina appeared. She did not knock. She did not use the door. She simply materialized in the center of the room, standing there as if she had always been present. Hyun jumped up from his chair, his hand reaching for a weapon that was no longer there. Please do not be alarmed, Mina said calmly. I mean you no harm. Teleportation technology, very convenient for diplomatic meetings. I wanted to speak with you personally before addressing your admiral. Hyun slowly sat back down. His heart was racing. Why me? Mina walked to the window and looked out at Earth. Because you listened to the Keeper. You tried to warn Admiral Tay. You wanted to avoid this conflict. That makes you wiser than most of your colleagues. We still attacked you, Hyun said bitterly. We ignored the warnings. We brought this on ourselves. Yes, Mina agreed. But you did not want to. That matters. Captain, I am here to tell you the truth. The truth about humanity. The truth about why we hide. The truth about what happened to those 3 empires. She sat down across from him. Her face was kind but sad. Humanity evolved on a dangerous world, Captain. A world where everything wanted to kill us, predators, diseases, natural disasters, even other humans. We survived by becoming the most dangerous thing on our planet. We learned to cooperate, to plan, to build weapons. We became very good at war. Hyun listened quietly. Mina continued. When we finally reached space, we expected to find friends, allies, other species who would welcome us. Instead, we found the Vor Empire. They came to Earth 800 years ago. They saw a primitive world and decided to conquer it. They landed their armies. They attacked our cities. They killed millions of us. Mina's voice grew colder. The Vor thought we would surrender. They were wrong. Humanity does not surrender. We adapt, we fight, we survive. Within 6 months, we had reverse-engineered their technology. Within a year, we had built our own spaceships. Within 2 years, we had driven them from Earth and pursued them into space. The Vor Empire fell because they taught us how to leave our planet. They gave us the stars. Hyun felt a chill run down his spine. You destroyed their entire empire? We destroyed their military, Mina corrected. Their civilians were relocated to safe worlds. We do not kill innocents if we can avoid it. But yes, the Vor Empire ceased to exist. That is when we met the Keeper. The Keeper was the Vor's oldest ally. It came to us and asked why we fought so fiercely. We explained about Earth, about survival, about how war is in our nature. The Keeper understood. It made us an offer. It would help us hide from the galaxy. It would warn others not to bother us. In return, we would promise to stay in our solar system and not expand outward. We would become invisible. We would avoid conflict, but 2 other empires attacked you, Hyun said. Mina nodded. The Keeper tried to warn them too. The Kreth Dominion came 400 years ago. They wanted our sun. They planned to use it as fuel for their star-eating machines. We could not allow that. The battle was brief. Then 200 years ago, the Zeph Collective decided we were dangerous and needed to be eliminated. They sent an extermination fleet. We eliminated them instead. She stood up and walked back to the window. Each time we tried to avoid fighting. Each time we gave warnings. Each time we were ignored. And each time we proved that humanity is not something to provoke. We do not want to conquer the galaxy, Captain Hyun. We just want to be left alone. What will happen to us? Hyun asked quietly. To the fleet? To Admiral Tay? Mina turned to face him. You will be sent home. All of you. Your ships will be repaired. Your wounded will be treated. You will return to the Galactic Council with a message from Earth. A simple message. Leave us alone. If they do, we will never bother them. If they do not, we will defend ourselves, that is all. Hyun said in disbelief. You are just letting us go? What would you prefer? Mina asked with a slight smile. Execution? Imprisonment? Captain, we are not monsters. You attacked us out of ignorance and pride. That does not deserve death. It deserves education. You will go home. You will tell your leaders what you saw, and hopefully they will be wiser than Admiral Tay. There was a long silence. Finally, Hyun spoke. Why did you tell me all this? Why not tell Admiral Tay? Because Tay will not listen, Mina said. He is too proud, too damaged by this defeat. He will make excuses. He will blame others. But you, Captain Hyun, you will understand. You will carry this message back to the council. You will make them understand that peace is the only option. Before Hyun could respond, Mina began to fade. Your ships will be ready to leave in 12 hours. Take your time, rest, heal. And when you return home, remember this conversation. Remember that humanity wants peace. But we are prepared for any alternative. She disappeared completely. Hyun sat alone in his quarters for a long time, thinking about everything he had learned. Finally, he activated his communication console and sent a message to Commander Yuna. Yuna, when we get home, you and I need to testify before the High Council. We need to tell them everything. The truth about Earth, the truth about humanity. This cannot happen again. Agreed, Yuna replied. Captain, do you think they will listen? Hyun hoped so. He really hoped so. 12 hours later, the Council fleet left Earth's solar system. Their ships had been repaired perfectly. Better than new, in fact. The human engineers had fixed problems the Council crews did not even know existed. Admiral Tay sat in his quarters, refusing to speak to anyone. Council member Sora was already composing her political survival strategy. But Captain Hyun stood on his bridge, looking back at the small blue planet that had humbled an entire fleet. Commander Yuna stood beside him. Beautiful world, Yuna said softly. Dangerous world, Hyun replied. Never forget that, Commander. That beautiful blue marble has defeated 3 empires, and they did it while holding back. Ambassador Mina made that very clear. What we saw was restraint, not their full capability. Yuna shuddered. What do you think would happen if they ever decided to expand beyond their solar system? Hyun did not answer. He did not want to imagine it. 3 weeks later, the fleet arrived at the Council homeworld. The High Council assembled immediately to hear the report. Admiral Tay tried to spin the story, tried to make it sound like a tactical withdrawal, but Hyun and Yuna told the truth. They showed the sensor data. They played the recordings. They presented the evidence of the 3 destroyed empires. The High Council listened in stunned silence. When the presentation ended, the Chief Counselor stood up. She was an ancient being over 400 years old who had guided the Council through countless crises. The evidence is clear, she said. Earth will be declared a restricted zone. No Council ship will approach their solar system. No contact will be initiated. We will respect their wish to be left alone, and we will be grateful they showed mercy to our fleet. The vote was unanimous. Earth would be avoided. The humans would be left in peace. Far away in Earth's solar system, Ambassador Mina received the news. She smiled and closed the report. Another crisis avoided. Another conflict prevented. Humanity could continue sleeping, continue hiding, continue pretending to be primitive. Dr. Dong walked into her office carrying a cup of tea. Did they agree to leave us alone? They did, Mina confirmed. The Council has declared Earth off limits. We are safe, for now. For now, Dong repeated. There will be others. There always are. Yes, Mina agreed, but the Keeper will warn them. And if they do not listen, we will teach them. Just like we taught the Council. Just like we taught the Vor, the Kreth, and the Zeph. Humanity has learned one important lesson from our violent history, Doctor. Peace is preferable, but survival comes first, always. Outside her window, Earth rotated peacefully. A beautiful blue world hiding unimaginable power. And somewhere in deep space, the Keeper watched over its strange friends, hoping the galaxy had finally learned its lesson. Do not provoke Earth, the warning was simple. The consequences of ignoring it were absolute. And now, finally, the galaxy understood. Admiral Tay stared at the empty space where the moon had been. His hands gripped the armrests of his command chair so tightly his knuckles turned white. Around him, the bridge crew waited nervously. Nobody spoke. Nobody wanted to be the first to suggest retreat. Council member Sora stood in the corner watching everything. Her political instincts were screaming at her. This situation was dangerous. If they retreated now, she would look weak. The High Council would blame her for wasting military resources. But if they attacked and lost, that would be even worse. She needed a way to turn this disaster into an opportunity. Admiral, Sora said carefully, perhaps we should consider a strategic withdrawal. We can return with more ships, better weapons. We need time to study this new information. Ty's eyes flashed with anger. Withdraw? Run away with our tail between our legs? Do you know what that would do to the Council's reputation? Every rebel group in the galaxy would laugh at us. Every conquered world would think about rising up. We cannot show weakness. But Admiral, Captain Hyun interjected from his own ship through the communication channel. We are clearly outmatched. The humans have weapons we cannot defend against. Attacking them would be suicide. Tay slammed his fist on the console. Maybe they are bluffing. That weapon demonstration could have been a trick. Holograms, special effects. They want us to believe they are invincible, but I have fought in 50 battles. I know psychological warfare when I see it. Commander Yuna could not stay silent anymore. Admiral, my science team analyzed that weapon strike. It was real. The energy readings were off the scale. This was not a trick or a hologram. The humans really do have that kind of power. Tay stood up from his chair. His face was red with fury. I do not care about your readings, Commander. I care about victory. The Council does not retreat. We do not run from primitive aliens. We are the dominant force in this galaxy, and I will prove it. He turned to his weapons officer. Prepare all cannons. Target the human defense platforms. We will strike first and strike hard. Once we eliminate their defenses, they will have no choice but to surrender. Hyun felt his heart sink. The Admiral had gone mad. Pride and ego had clouded his judgment. They were about to attack an enemy they could not possibly defeat. He opened a private channel to Commander Yuna. Yuna, prepare your ship for emergency retreat, Hyun whispered. When this goes wrong, and it will go wrong, we need to survive to warn the High Council. Understood, Yuna replied. My shields are already at maximum. Engines ready for full power. The Eternal Victory opened fire first. Its main cannon sent a beam of concentrated energy toward the nearest human defense platform. The other Council ships joined in, 50 warships firing together, their combined firepower enough to destroy a small planet. The human platform did not even try to dodge. The Council weapon struck its shields and simply stopped. Not deflected, not absorbed. Just stopped as if hitting an invisible wall. The energy dissipated harmlessly into space. The platform remained completely undamaged. Impossible, Tay breathed. Nothing has shields that strong. Ambassador Mina's voice came through the speakers. She sounded disappointed. Admiral, you have made your choice. We accept. Initiating defensive protocols. The space around Earth suddenly came alive. The human ships that had been sitting quietly in orbit began to move. They moved faster than anything Hyun had ever seen. One moment they were thousands of kilometers away. The next moment they were right beside the Council fleet. A new voice joined the communication channel. A young man speaking with military precision. This is Commander June of the Earth Defense Fleet. All Council vessels, you are ordered to power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. This is your only warning, never, Tay shouted. All ships, evasive maneuvers. Scatter formation. Focus fire on their command ships. The Council fleet tried to spread out, tried to create space between themselves and the human vessels, but it was useless. The human ships moved with impossible precision. They darted between Council ships like fish in water. Their weapons fired with pinpoint accuracy. Hyun watched in horror as one of the escort frigates exploded, not from a massive blast. The human weapon simply cut through the ship's engines with a thin beam of light. The frigate lost power and began spinning helplessly. Another Council ship tried to fire on a human vessel. The human ship simply disappeared and reappeared behind it. A single shot disabled the Council ship's shields. It was not a battle. It was a demonstration. The humans were not trying to kill anyone. They were surgically disabling each ship, targeting engines and weapons with incredible precision. They wanted the Council fleet alive but helpless. Commander June's voice remained calm throughout the entire engagement. Council ship Radiant Dawn, cease fire and you will not be harmed. Council ship Silver Star, power down your weapons. Council ship Eternal Victory. Your main reactor is about to overload. I suggest you shut it down immediately. Hyun checked his reactor status. The warning lights were flashing red. Somehow the humans had hacked into his ship's systems. They could have destroyed him at any moment. Instead, they were warning him, saving his life. All crew emergency shutdown, Hyun ordered. His engineers scrambled to prevent a reactor breach. They succeeded with seconds to spare. Admiral Tay was screaming orders, but nobody was listening anymore. His own ship had been disabled early in the battle. The eternal victory was dead in space, all weapons offline, shields down. Council ships were surrendering one by one, powering down their systems rather than face destruction. Una tried to make a run for it. Her fast scout ship dove toward the edge of the solar system, engines at maximum power. She almost made it. Almost reached the point where she could jump to faster than light speed. Then a human ship appeared directly in her path. She was forced to stop or collide. "Nice try, Commander," June said with what sounded like amusement. "But we have been preparing for this scenario for 2 centuries. Every possible escape route is blocked. Every avenue of retreat is sealed. You cannot run. You cannot hide. You can only surrender." The entire battle lasted 17 minutes. 17 minutes to disable 50 warships without destroying a single one. 17 minutes to prove that humanity was not just more advanced than the Council. They were in a completely different league. Hyun sat in his darkened bridge, emergency lights casting shadows on the walls. His crew looked defeated and scared. Outside his window, human ships patrolled peacefully, making sure no one tried anything stupid. Commander Yuna's voice came through on a private channel. "Captain Hyun, what do we do now?" Hyun had no answer. They were prisoners now. Their fate was in human hands. All they could do was wait and hope the humans were as merciful as they seemed. Admiral Tae sat alone in his command center, staring at nothing. His glorious career was over. His reputation was destroyed. He had led his fleet into a trap, ignored all warnings, and lost without even hurting the enemy. The great warrior had been defeated by the very primitives he had mocked, and now he would have to face whatever judgment the humans decided.